Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a video on should the Daleks be in Series 11 of Doctor Who, and personally, which will be Jodie Whittaker's first series, personally I think not. I mean, and that really pains me to say that because I am a massive fan of the Daleks, but I think they've been written into oblivion. It's just gone into oblivion, as I say. Like Stephen Moffat even said in the behind the scenes of like Twice Upon a Time, the only reason why he even wanted the Dalek and or Rusty in that story in the Christmas special was because he wanted a villain and or monster and or bad guy of the Doctors that he could use as a way to spew a load of exposition of the story, push the narrative forward, and then when that's done, just turn them off and or switch off the character and just let them shut down, which is basically what happened in Twice Upon a Time. Think about it, all Rusty did was shoot at the Doctors, and then as soon as you found out that it was him, they had a bit of a chat, a catch up, and then they talked about who God, I can't even remember, testimony were, and then that's it. And then when the Doctor found out, oh, they're not actual people that I can fight in this story, oh no, what do I do now? It's like, and that, so they were wasted there. They were basically in a cameo-esque role there. It wasn't purely a Dalek story. I'm glad that it wasn't, but either way, I just genuinely don't think that the Daleks, in any capacity, should have been in Twice Upon a Time. And we've seen them way too many times, hence the reason why I don't think they should be in Series 11. And also, I already know, well, I don't know this to be true, but there are rumours circulating the internet, and that Mr. Chris Chibnall doesn't want any recurring monsters from, well, I was about to say the classic series, but from recent sort of, revived series, and that, so don't look like the Slitheen, or the Weeping Angels, the Slitheen, the Silence, the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Master, just any of that will be coming back in a Series 11. Now, I think the major thing that I would really like to see in Series 11, or just in a future series with Jodie Whittaker for however long she stays in, to see if they would gender swap the Master. That would be pretty interesting, because now the Doctor's female, maybe make the Master male again, and that would be interesting, dynamic, and that, and that maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I think the reason as to why I don't want the Daleks to be in Series 11, and that is just because I feel like, even though, oddly enough, in Series 10, we had them at the beginning with the pilot as a cameo again, just literally there for just cannon fodder, and again they just turned into a puddle, and that was about it. Shot at Nardole, and that's about it. Shot some Mavellans even, and that's it. And I mean, people say Destiny of the Daleks is a shit story. As a Dalek story, it's like, well, at least they did more than just shoot a few Mavellans and shoot at Nardole and turn into water and or a puddle, for Christ's sake, when a Dalek can't even kill a humanoid person who's just covered in water, and that, the Daleks are just gone now as villains and as adversaries, and for fuck's sake, for Christ's sake, sorry for the swearing, but for Christ's sake, in Twice Upon a Time, all they're used for is, as I say, an exposition dump, a way of pushing the narrative, and or telling the backstory of the monster and or villain of that story. So that's all they're used for. And then also, just as a jump scare, for Christ's sake, there's that bit with the army guy who's like, oh, where are the, what the hell's over there? And then he's like, there's that scruttling thing, and then it's like a Dalek mutant, and then it latches onto his face like a face hugger, and it's like, really? They've actually, that's where the Daleks are at now. They're jump scare material now. That's what they've been reduced to. Fucking hell, that's disgraceful. Like, you've got the First Doctor as well in this story. Surely you'd think he'd be like, putting the pieces together as to who they are, because it's not like the First Doctor never met the Daleks. The First Doctor did. And if anything, there's a fan theory out there that states or goes into the fact that if it wasn't for the First Doctor who'd met the Daleks, then maybe the Daleks wouldn't have become the benevolent, mastery sort of master evil sort of thing that they are, you know, later in the Doctor's timeline, if it wasn't for the First Doctor accidentally actually going to Skaro. Because if you think about it, in the first Dalek story, they don't know about other life than the Khalids themselves on Skaro. It's not until the Doctor actually comes onto the planet that then he's like, well, yeah, there is a whole universe out there, you're not alone. Do you know what I mean? So, and again, yeah, so we've only seen them beginning and end of Series 10, as cameos. They were kind of shit there because, well, they were poorly done there because they were cameos. If you're going to have them as cameos, at least build them up to be sort of formidable, and that, yeah, maybe they're not the point of focus of the story, but don't just say, oh look, the Daleks, oh look how interesting they look, and then just not do much with them, or just sort of have them there to get some buzz and use them as trailer bait, which, let's be honest, that's probably what they were for both the pilot and or, you know, Twice Upon a Time, which is stupid. Prior to that, you've got, you know, Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, which, although I think is a fairly decent, or a better Davros story, I think it's a fairly meh and pretty meh and crappy Dalek story. Then the only other good Dalek story in recent memory, in recent years, is Into the Dalek, and that's about it, you know, which is just ironically a retread of Robert Sherman. I think, no, is it Robert Sherman? I can't remember the writer's name, but the guy who wrote Dalek, it's just a retread of Dalek anyway, so pretty much. But yeah, so I think the Daleks, we need a breather from them. They need to actually have some sort of substance to them, and some sort of threat, some sort of actual, like, you know, rhyme and reason as to why they're back, you know, or why they're in a story, not just, oh look, they're here. Why? To destroy the universe. Because when you have loads of them, and we've seen them time and time again with loads of them, like when, let's say, Time of the Daleks, Victory of the Daleks, and Into the Dalek, we have a bunch of them. Guess what happens by the end? Oh look, the Doctor defeats them all. Do you know what I mean? It's like predictable, it's boring. Have less is more, but also have actual interesting, different ideas. You know, Big Finish have the Daleks in quite a lot of their output, but they have them in different situations, in different contexts. You know, you have them in the Time War, you have them, you know, in, you know, a Sixth Doctor historical, but with like a stained glass steel design of them, which looks really gothic horror-esque. You know, you've got, as I say, a Time War one where maybe there's only one Dalek. You know, you've got other episodes where you've got, you know, like Dark Eyes or something, where they're kind of more shifty and kind of more manipulative and, you know, puppeteering things and pulling the strings behind the scenes and kind of working against or with certain agents of Gallifrey of sorts, you know, and that. You've got, you know, Dalek Emperor, you know, you've got different sort of hierarchy of Daleks as well in the Big Finish audios. You've just got, you know, you've got Davros, you've got, you know, and that, and his maniacal relationship with the 8th Doctor and or 6th Doctor. You've got the Mechanoids and the Daleks and the Juggernauts. You know, you've got all these different ideas and concepts in Big Finish with the Daleks, but in the main series, in the current revived series, the only sort of theme seems to be, let's have a load of Daleks, why they're there, to destroy the universe, that's it. Doctor destroys them, they have to come back next year and or next series. Why? Because, well, there's rumours and all. There's rumours that obviously in the Doctor Who community that circulate, or that have been circulating for years now, that there's such a thing as the Termination Act, which is that the BBC have to, legally obliged and that to have the Daleks in every series of the revived series since 2005. Because if they don't, then the license would probably go, well, would be have to go back to the Terry Nation estate, because Terry Nation actually made the Daleks, and every time they use them, he gets royalties, or his estate slash, you know, family of sorts as well, get royalties when the BBC use the Daleks. And obviously, as I say, there are rumours, I don't know this for true, but it would make logical sense. Think about it. Why else would they be in every series? You know, which they are. Even if you take into consideration Series 6, the specials, or the specials, Series 6 and Series 10, those 3 series are the only 3 series where there's no Dalek story, like actual point of focus Dalek story, but they're still there. In the specials, you've got Waters of Mars, there's a Dalek in there. Series 6, Wedding of River Song, there's a Dalek in that. And then, as I say, Series 10, you've got the pilot, and you've got Twice Upon a Time. So, you know, and if you didn't have to use them every series and or year, you wouldn't, I don't think. You know why? Because you'd get burnt out. You'd be at the point where the Daleks are at. And I think they need a redesign as well, as a sort of refresh in terms of stories to be told. I think they are still a good villain, and I still love them, and that I just think they don't get treated with the respect they deserve. I don't think they're bigger than the show, but they are definitely up there for one of the major ingredients as to why this show could continue after William Hartnell. You know, obviously there's number 1, regeneration, but then number 2 or 3 would be the Daleks. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, number 1 would be like regeneration, number 2 would be the time travel aspect, you know, the fact that the storytelling is limitless because of the stories they can tell, but then also number 3 would, as I say, probably be the Daleks. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're up there as to why the show can continue on, and that, because they are so intertwined with Doctor Who, so, and I think as well it would make for more, as I say, like, breathing room. It would make for something interesting, like to see Jodie Whittaker's first sort of on-screen sort of battle against the Daleks being a second series, or do you know what I mean? Like, lead it into that, like make it more of a monumentous sort of occasion. Build up to it. Build this sort of hype that, you know, she's going to be versing the Daleks. Maybe they make some sort of sly backhanded comment about the fact that the Doctor's regenerated into a woman, maybe, and then she has to like stand up for her sort of not, well, I was going to say gender, but I don't know, but just sort of, as I say, just stand up to them and that, and stuff and that, but as per usual. But I don't know, and maybe a redesign is necessary. I mean, obviously the 2010 redesign didn't go too well with everyone, you know, and that, but maybe have them cameo in Series 11 at least, just, if necessary, have a cameo with them in a story in Series 11, but then in Series 12, have them appear, brand new design maybe, and that, but cameo maybe the old ones, the old sort of bronze and gold one, but I think that one's just, it's had its time. I think we do need a new Dalek design, but also I think there needs to be this sort of ease of transition. So as I say, maybe have that one be a cameo in Series 11, and then in Series 12 have an actual Dalek story, so maybe as the sort of mid-series finale, or maybe the actual series finale, maybe, I don't know, but just have them be interesting again. Maybe less is more. Again, I think a Dalek story with only like 3 or 4 Daleks would be interesting, you know, like sort of the Series 2 two-parter, Series 2 finale, which was a two-parter with, it only had like 4 Daleks. Granted, it had the Sidemen also fighting the Daleks, which was mind-blowingly amazing as a kid. But yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.